Welcome back to Exotic Car Play Place, everyone. Thanks for joining in on this beautiful, well, somewhat rainy kind of an afternoon. But today we are going to dive in and deeper dive further to the discussion we had last week on one of my videos about why Lexus is in trouble and the fact that they are no longer competitive with their German rivals. Let's get into it now. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Mark with Exotic Car Play Place. Today's news, we're going to talk about why Lexus is not being competitive enough with some of the German manufacturers or a lot of the other Euro brands. So the problem actually stems from Toyota's new North American CEO, Ted Ogawa, who's actually commented that he's worried about Lexus's approach and their business approach in terms of the fact that some of the decisions they've been making in recent years. For example, the GS is gone. A lot of the other models are softened up. They're just really not competitive with the German rivals. For example, the IS had great hopes, but what did they end up saying? In 2021, it's getting a minor little warming over, but it's not getting a major rework. There was talks about some major engine upgrades, maybe a BMW power drivetrain, possibly the IS 500, which would be a significant performance upgrade, but even that's not committed to. But instead, the IS has actually been around since 2013 and really hasn't seen any significant upgrades. But that's just the beginning of the story. As we spoke of last week's video, a lot of their focus is really on SUVs and reliable cars that haven't gone through significant changes for the sake of reliability. But there's a real problem with that, and the problem is the German makers from BMW, Mercedes, Audi even, for example, are doing major things for incentives. And while the German brands are offering great incentives, creating new innovations, better performance, better style, better looks, the cars are just becoming more palatable. Where Lexus, the best that they've got is an RCF, maybe an LC500, and even those are slightly watered down compared to what's coming out in the German brands. I mean, look here, for example, look at these. A lot of people aren't in love with the big grills. They're not the greatest looking thing. As a matter of fact, it seems to be a common trend, not necessarily unique to Lexus. But look at these. They look like a serious overbite. They almost have a fish look to them. Kind of lacking something in the styling department. It looks like they're missing a spoiler underneath there. And so basically, Mr. Ogawa has commented that Lexus had better start sharpening up and reducing that amount of time between major changes. And so what is the solution? More innovation, reduce the time and the time between major changes, and ultimately just try to be more competitive with some of the Euro brands. Let's take a quick look at some of the Lexus cars right now. I mean, ultimately what you've got is a row of white and gray, white and gray, white and gray RX models. Lots of SUVs. I think that's kind of the sign. That's what they're trying to do, is sell SUVs, because that's ultimately what sells for these brands. And why is that? Because their cars are not that innovative. Sure, these are kind of fun, but there's nothing really hooligan about them. These are easy to live with. Nice cars, reliable, but not that exciting. Then you get the RCF. Now that's a pretty interesting car, but again, as I say, what really does that compete with? These cars aren't spectacularly powered, and they've never had a great reputation for phenomenal handling or brakes, so they're just really a good compromise. And then looking down the row, we have more sedans and SUVs and more SUVs, and well, all these models, the NX, the RX, RX, IS, they're all great cars on their own right, but sadly they all lack a little bit of an imagination. So everybody wants to see Lexus successful, and as a result, I think that what they've got to do is, again, create a more dynamic lineup. They've got to shorten up the lifespan of each particular car, and ultimately just focus on giving an exciting car as an experience for the buyer. They will help themselves if they look at those factors. Thanks a lot, everybody. I'm glad you stuck around to the very end. I know you enjoyed the video. If you did and you found it interesting and you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications bell. As well, if you want to learn and you want to actually see last week's video, the link's right up there. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Catch you then. Bye-bye.